All right, let's do game six review. We'll make this one quick. All right, so a couple of good things. Defense was significantly better, especially the defense for the back three. There were a number of times where they would get breakaways into the box, and we had pretty really good one-on-one defense in these scenarios. So there was a number of chase downs. You guys were disciplined. You didn't dive at the ball. That has kind of gone away, which is really good. You're shadowing, so you're staying in between the attacker and the box, and making sure they don't get an easy shot on goal or direct progress. You're leading them towards the sideline, towards the sides, and then once you have the opportunity, this happened a number of times where they had, they're trying to run as fast as they can, so they push the ball out, and then you're getting right in there. So you're getting in between the person and the ball, and you're holding it. So that's really good on defense. That has significantly improved. One other example that I really want to highlight is there was, I think the play was a midfielder that was right around here, and there was like four of the other team all around him. They got possession of the ball and didn't immediately have anyone to pass to. And so what they did was they moved the ball away from these guys, and they played pretty good defense in basically delaying. They sent one person forward. At one point there was a couple of people forward, but they didn't all crowd like in a much younger league. But this player did not panic. They just protected the ball. They kept the body in between the player and the ball. And something that we're going to work on, we're going to talk about as an area that we need to work on is like most of his teammates kind of just stood there and watched this happening. In the scenario, we all know what should happen. So this person needs to come over to give a passing lane. This person needs to come over and give a passing lane. They need to communicate. They need to say, "Hey, I'm here. I'm open." And this person here needs to be available in case a spot opens up. But basically, they were too far away. They stayed. These players stayed on the backside of the defenders, so there was no open pass. And in this scenario, I don't actually remember exactly what happened, but in this scenario, the only option this player had was to boot it up the field and hope for the best. They didn't have an open pass anywhere. So they did a great job in the circumstances that they were given. They had multiple players trying to get the ball from them. They used their body to protect. They didn't what has happened a lot is under this kind of pressure, we will just kick the ball out trying to just get rid of it because we don't know what else to do, and we end up just passing it to another defender. That's the worst thing that you can do. If you don't have someone to pass to, then the best you can do is delay the other team from getting the ball. Put your body in front of it, dribble it somewhere away from the defense. If you don't have an open pass, do not just kick the ball because you don't feel like you have anything else to do. Okay, that's in this scenario, like he could have even better than kicking the ball randomly in the field is kicking it out of bounds because at least then we have a chance to set up. There's some good individual skill that you can do where you bring the ball to the line and then you defend it with your body, um, you know, hoping that one of their players will stab at the ball and kick it out of bounds, so it'll be out on them. That's you can't always count on that happening. You might be in the middle of the field, but that's a good little trick to play. But the thing that we really need to work on here is one, when this player is covered, these players, we talk about this all the time, you have to support. You have to be close enough and you have to be away from the defense enough that you are options to pass to. That has to happen. These players, it's their responsibility to move to support this player. Okay, we cannot just stand around and watch. The other thing that we can take away from this is when we get the ball, we are always saying, hey, we care about possession more than progress. So If the defense gets close, the first thing you do is you protect the ball. And if that means that you have to shift your body and get on this side of the ball, then that's what you do. Um, Even better is you have already scanned, you have already looked around and see that there's an open person over here. The defender is not marking him. So as your defender is coming up on you, you know that that player is open. So before they get in within reach, you make the pass. And then immediately after you make that pass, you get away from this defender. So the one problem that we got to fix is I made that pass. Now I'm just going to stand here. I'm no longer in the play. You are always in the play. Everyone on the entire field is always in the play. So now your job is to reposition yourself. You pass and then you reposition yourself in an open spot. Go and find a spot where he can pass it back to you. That's your objective after the pass. All right. And then the second thing is, so as that defender is closing on you, if you have the pass, you make the pass. If you don't have the pass, you protect the ball, and you do not get flustered and just kick the ball, hoping that it ends up somewhere that we want it to. This is the easiest way for defense to get the ball. Is all they have to do is run at you. You lose your composure, you kick the ball, and it goes directly to one of their teammates. That's what they want you to do. That is what we want to do on defense. We want to pressure the ball to get them to make a mistake like this, and now they've just turned it over and they can build up from the back. So again, in these circumstances, the most important thing is keep your composure, use your body to delay the player from getting access to the ball, find someone open. Most of the time, you're going to have a pass backwards to retreat. And this is actually a really good strategy. And we actually did this a couple of times. We've talked about this in other reviews, but we've done this in games where we pass back. The defense then presses this person, and then this person just passes the ball right back. Now, this player is out of position, and you have a wide open field to dribble. So don't ever be afraid of passing the ball back. Okay, we got to remember to pass the ball to any available player who's open. Remember, our key decision making um, it's pretty simple actually. Do you have space? Is the defense very far away from you? Carry. If you don't have space and the defense is reasonably close to you, then before you do anything else, find the open player. Know that this person is here. Know that this person is here. Know that if the defense does come, that you can make those passes. And the best time to scan to figure this out is before you have the ball. So let's say that it was over here on the side, and they're about to pass to you because they have pressure. Before they even pass to you, you are looking at, hey, where am I? I'm far enough away. Okay, that's good. So I'm available for a pass. But you should also be thinking, where's everybody else? Where's the defense? If there's a player right here, don't pass in that direction. So you know where all the players are, so that when you get the pass, you now already are aware of what your options are. You don't have to scan while you have the ball, while you have the pressure. Scan before you have the ball and before you have the pressure, so that when the pressure comes, you already know, oh, I have this pass over here. And that's something that we should really get used to, is like, hey, especially a center mid, I'm going to get the ball. Is this person on the other side open? And you should immediately be thinking, I'm going to get the ball and I'm going to immediately pass it on, because now we just switch the field and the defense might be heavy on this side and light on this side. Okay, so always be anticipating who's the next person that I can pass to. All right. There was another thing that I wanted to talk about. So the individual defense was good, very good, especially the back three. Midfield defense still not recovering. The rule is, if the ball is on our side of the field, every single midfielder needs to reposition themselves so that they are behind the ball. Okay, you cannot stay pushed up like this. That's the trick. And then if you are pushing on the attack, We don't want all three midfielders up here on the attack because then all three midfielders have to run back and recover. If one or two midfielders are pushing up for an attack that's legitimate, you got to keep someone's got to stay back to be ready for the counter attack. When they get the ball and they start pushing, his job is to close, to contain, cover the space, and allow these guys to recover back. Okay, that's how it should work as a team. Remember, we do everything as a team. There's no individual contribute or individual play here. The other thing that we didn't do very well was midfielders would be one-on-one with an opponent. The opponent would dribble past them, and then this player would just stand there and watch the rest of the play. That cannot happen. When you do that, you are just saying, "Hey, I am not going to contribute any longer to the defense, that our team defense. I'm just going to watch you guys, um, contain." That this cannot happen, especially as a midfielder. If he passes past you, that's a different story. But if he dribbles past you, you need to catch up. You need to chase down. And your objective, again, is to get in front, get in between the ball, or at very least get in front and delay. You cannot give up on plays like this. All right. We had a lot of good shots on goal. That was a really positive thing. Many of our shots had unlucky hits. So it either hit the keeper, and it really should have gone in. It hit the post. We had a couple of outside shots that like just missed. So a lot of this was really good on the offense side, and we didn't have a really high score because of these like near misses, but we had a lot of shots on goal, so that was good. Most of the things that we're doing well are because we're building up from the back, we're passing to each other, we're making progress forward with passing, and then once we get in here, we're not um, our shot selection is good. We're not shooting when there's a player. We are making passes even inside the box. We're taking open shots. So all of what's going on here is solid. Um, there was a little bit less in this last game. There was a little bit less passing and switching in the field, and a little more dribbling. But that was actually okay because they gave us a lot of these opportunities. Many times, their players were either in the box too far away and we can actually dribble it in, or they were behind and we have the space and we can dribble it in. So again, if you have the space, it is perfectly fine to dribble. But as soon as you find opposition, make an open pass. Be ready for that. And especially in a scenario like this, if we can switch the ball, switch the field, and get an open shot on the side of the goal that isn't covered. All right, that's it for Game 6 review. Thanks, guys.